Hello everyone, hope you all are well. Welcome to another video of our channel Get in Depth. Firstly, we are really sorry because we have not uploaded any content since 2 weeks, but we are trying hard to give you the top-notch content as much as possible. But today's video is very important to you guys because we are going to discuss on a very important topic. Tathagata and me both have got a chance to give the interview in BARC, and I guess you all know what is the BARC. Bhabha Atomic Research Centre it is, and it is the most one of the finest and prestigious research institute of India. So without wasting much more time, let's start with the interview experience of us. So Tathagato, what was your experience and how it began actually? Please share to us.
Well, Shayan, first of all, I would like to thank you for this warm introduction. And indeed, we are both have been in the campus of Anushakti Nagar BARC,
Yes.
and we can agree that amazing the campus was, lush greenery, and the mountains, and everything was so mesmerizing. So it was a pretty great experience for us, I guess.
Actually, the campus is totally different from the city.
Exactly, it is totally in the outskirt, and covered up in through mountains in every side, and a whole
The
different
greenery
atmosphere. Exactly, a very mesmerizing
and the
atmosphere.
calmness of the campus.
Very good. I mean, yeah, the calm environment, and as if it feels like you are in the lap of nature, right? So it gives a
Yes,
different
yes.
a thought process in minds, and everything was so mesmerizing. So yeah, first of all, let us jump into, well, eventually we will be showing you guys some of the pictures and videos that we took in the campus, right?
Captured on the campus.
Exactly.
Yes.
So shall we go into the technical subjects right now?
Yes. How it
So
begins
basic.
actually for your interview, please share us.
Well, yeah, in the interview first, they asked me some basic questions like my BTech and final year project, and like career right now, in what stage of career, and these basic questions. It will take merely 3-4 minutes. Then they will ask, and eventually ask me also, that tell them the most five favorite subjects that I am most comfortable in. So I chose C, data structure, theory of computation, algorithms, and operating system. And then therefore they asked me to write down two more subjects that I may be comfortable in. So I wrote DBMS and
Yes.
COA. What about you?
Yes, actually, at first they told me to sit there and they take my original document file and asking me how I have arrived then and on which date I have arrived in the campus. So in this question, there are 5 minutes, I guess, and they have told about these questions. And after that, they asked me to go to the board and tell us the most important favorite subjects of mine. So I have written the C data structure, algorithm, operating system, DBMS, and after that they are asking more 2 or 3 subjects for writing. So I was not very much comfortable with that subjects, but I have wrote that computer network and COA organization. So
So
after that,
in the primary five subjects, we both have four subjects common, except I chose TOC and you
yes.
chose
Actually,
DBMS,
most of
right?
the students have these subjects will common.
Yeah, exactly. You chose DBMS, right? You told,
Yes.
yes,
Instead of
exactly. That
TOC,
is the
and
only.
one panel member, one scientist has asked me why not TOC.
And what did you answer?
Actually, there is not a specific answer because I have not chosen TOC because my seniors have told that they are focusing more on the um, system subjects. So I have not chosen TOC, but they have pointed that also means why I have not chosen TOC. So what is the first subject they have asked you?
Well, they began with C. Well, they told me that it is going to be C, but it wasn't actually, because they asked me for first C. The rightmost teacher in the panel asked me, like,
Yes.
okay, so tells me, like, okay, so let us start with C. And I, first of all, I was a bit nervous that it is the beginning of the interview. I was a bit
Everybody will
nervous.
get nervous.
Exactly. I hope
Seven
you
panel
were too.
members was there.
Exactly. Yes, obviously, and they were all staring at me. I was already scared. But anyways, so he
Yes.
tells me that let us start with C. Okay, somehow I'm getting my nerves right. Okay, let's start with C. and he asked me that say there is a producer producing some items and there is a consumer which consumes those items, but both at different rates. So what is the necessary conditions we must take into consideration to make this system stable? First of all, I got nervous because what the hell, I never recognized anything like this in C. Then I
C
asked him,
question.
exactly, my mind was totally in C that moment. So I
Yes,
asked
yes,
him,
yes.
sir, I'm sorry, can you just repeat the question? And then he repeats, and I recognize, okay, he just bluffs about C. This is not C. He's talking about basic producer
Operating
consumer
system.
problem. Exactly. So I got back there and told about um, that we need to take in consideration about mutual exclusion. And he
Yes.
asked me what is the problem. So I explained that, say, this is producer producing, and say we have a variable which keeps in count where the next item should be stored in the buffer. But then
Hmm.
the IT, before updating the variable, it gets the context switching happens. So we cannot update the variable, and the next item stored right there. So the one item is lost. So this is the problem with mutual exclusion. And then he asked, what is the solution? I told semaphore, that's it. And then the actual C question began. Like
Okay, okay.
the first question was that the teacher asked me if I was comfortable with structure and union. So he
Hmm.
asked me the basic definitions of structure and union, what are the differences and all. So these are the basic things I told them.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Yes, yes,
then
yes.
exactly. Then he asked me that tell some practical examples of structure and union where we should use. He says in the same plot, show us two different use cases of structure and union. So this was
Hmm. Hmm.
somewhat different question. I was like thinking, I'm from gate background, as
Yes,
you are also. So
I
yeah,
am also.
exactly. In case of gate, we are not accustomed with having the practical implications that much.
Practical implementation.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I was thinking right then key how to implement that, how to show the example. So the teacher, he gives me some hint that do one thing, and he tells me some awkward thing that do one thing, write down a function that adds two numbers, write down a function to of addition. I was like, "Oh,
Big
what
hint.
exactly?" And that was a big hint, but I didn't get at first. I was like,
Yes,
what?
yes,
I,
yes.
I was instructed, what addition function? Okay, pretty simple. I wrote down addition function, and then he tells me that what if I want to return a float? And
Hmm.
what I did, I changed the return type to float. Which no, I want to return both integer and float. So how to do that?
Yes.
That is when it struck me. Okay, fine, yeah, he's using structure. And then he asked
Hmm.
me,
Hmm.
and what is how to use union and structure. Then I told that if I want to return both of the different data types simultaneously, I should use structure. Otherwise, if I want to return just one of them at a time, then I should use union.
Yes,
That
yes,
was the
yes.
first question of C language. Then another question, and then next they asked me about bit fields. That they wanted to ask me about bit fields. That say there
What?
are
What?
bit fields, that
Okay, okay.
boolean inputs, that
Hmm.
some
Hmm.
10,000 or 1 lakh boolean inputs are there. How to store them efficiently in memory? So that was the question. I was not very comfortable with bit fields, but I used a different technique. That is, first of all, I took character, because it is the least size, one
Hmm.
byte, and they are saying boolean inputs, that is 0 or 1. So
Yes.
I'm also I also used the 8 bits in the character efficiently.
Hmm.
That is, I initialized the concept is like that. I initialized a loop of eight, like you can consider like a mod 8 counter.
Hmm.
Suppose a
Hmm.
mod 8
Hmm.
counter runs, and every time an
Yes.
input is given, for 8 consecutive inputs, I am counting the equivalent decimal value. 0 1
Yes.
0 and
Yes.
1 comes for continuously for 8 consecutive inputs.
Hmm.
I count the decimal value, and it will give decimal value till 256, right? Because 8 bit and
Hmm.
8 continuous inputs. So a decimal value in 256, and I'm storing equivalent character. That is the idea. So
Okay. Okay.
so I'm using the 8 bits. It's a different approach. I probably thought they liked it because they were smiling a lot, and smiling a lot and nodding really. So I thought that this might sound something innovative. These were the primary question. What about you?
Actually, they started actually from data structure. Actually, it is mixed of data structure and C language questions. At first, they asked me, one of the panel members asked me that what are the data structures available. So I just written all these names that we have read. So after that, he asked what is the structure. So I just gave the definition of the structure, and then he told me that implement a linked list node with using
So
the
they
structure.
asked you about structure also.
Yes, yes, yes.
It seems they are very keen on structure.
Yes, structure.
Exactly.
Actually. So my next 15 minutes were going on to structure also.
Yeah, I also had like 15-20 minutes on structure. They have very keen
Yes.
interest on structures, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
um,
Actually,
well,
after that, when I have implemented the structure node using for the linked list, then he asked me that reverse a linked list using the structure variable or means the code. So at
yeah,
first I thought
that is one
we are
thing. They were asking me quite a lot to write codes. Whatever I'm like.
yes, yes, yes,
Even if I speak a single line on in ideas and concepts, they just asking me like write down the code in the board. That is what they are asking for, like write down the code.
no, actually for me I tried to understand the logic, make them understand the logic first, and after that they I code that part. So they just told me yes, that is fine.
Okay.
So they told me the how we reverse the linked list. So at first I thought that we are going to be using the single linked list. So the single linked list I got a very matlab, not optimized way that at that time. So I draw a linked list and told them if I get the middle pointer of the linked list, then one pointer will be on head and another
Mm,
pointer will be on the middle pointer. And after
mm,
that, without using the auxiliary space, just
mm.
traversing one left pointer from left to middle and another pointer from middle to the right
Right, right.
node,
Mm,
and just checking every character of each node. So if it is matches till the last point, then it is a palindrome. And then, oh, sorry. The question was how we check the palindrome. Okay,
in link
how we
list.
check the palindrome? Yes, in the linked list.
Okay. Okay.
Perhaps there is a character, there is a string ABC
Okay.
BA. This is a palindrome. So
Uh,
we have to store that string in the linked list by each character, and then we have to check whether it is palindrome or not. So at first, I gave them an approach that after getting the middle pointer,
mm,
we just reversing the total linked list from the middle to right end. We
mm,
are reversing the linked list. Then up, we get one at one pointer and on head and another pointer on the middle.
mm.
Then we just traversing from head to middle and middle to right,
Right.
two pointer concept, and just
Uh,
checking each character is same or not.
uh,
So ABC BA, if I reverse from the middle, that will become ABC AB. So
mm,
A B B. We are checking that, and C is omitted because it is the middle element.
mm,
So it is a palindrome. But they asked me how I reverse the linked list, how we can reverse the linked list. So for that, I told them the slow and fast pointer concept.
mm,
I make the diagram and dry run them, and after that I code that.
mm,
And then they are asked that how we are going to check whether it is palindrome or not. Then I have to understand the code also, how we are traversing and what are the loops we are taking. So after that, they told me, is it the optimized way? So at that time, my mind stuck with the single linked list actually. So I told them that yes, right now I cannot think much better approach. So after that, they gave me a hint about it. So they told me, can we just add another feature of the node? So then it stuck in my mind that yes, we can add another pointer, that is called the double linked list. So then I told them actually if we use the double linked list for this problem, we can use one left pointer means the head pointer and one is the right pointer, that is the tail pointer, and simultaneously just the head pointer will move to left to middle and another pointer will be right to middle, and for that in one traversal we can check is it palindrome or not. Then they said yes, this is the right approach. And after that, they have asked me about some macro implementation. What is the macro? What is the definition? What are the uses of the macro? And then some basic C language questions. What is the variable and what is the constant? The difference between the variable and constant. And after that, they asked me to code. whether two vectors they are we have been given two vectors, whether they are directing towards the same direction or not. So I have to code that part. So first, just I elaborated what by taking the examples and what is the angle between them, what is the cos theta and what is the value, and after that they have told me that what are the other conditions, and I also improved that conditions as well. After that, I just took two arrays and just what is the cos theta, the magnitude, if we are given two vectors a and b, then the cos theta is equal to a dot product of a and b and divided by the magnitude of a and b. So if the both are same, then they are directing to the same direction.
Same direction.
So I have, yes, so I have given the code, and there are some other questions of C language as well. So
This
what about
reminds me.
you?
This
Yes, yes,
reminds
yes.
me. I had some English question too, which I missed before. So first of all, one thing
Okay.
about the structure I missed, that they asked me, say a structure is having different members of different data types, which we do not know. It's like a black box.
Hmm.
They asked
Hmm.
me to get the size of the structure without using the size of operator. So
Okay,
this
okay,
was a
okay.
tricky question. I was at first I was really in puzzle that, without using size of, and we
Hmm.
don't know the members. So yeah, but I
Actually, they are
they
asking the what is the basic approach, means basic implementation of the
exactly,
size of.
exactly. They kind of want the answer from raw, basically, from
Hmm.
scratch
Hmm.
actually.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I was like, I was paused for 10 seconds, 10 or 15 seconds. Then the ma'am asked me that, first tell me what tool or what variable or what do you want to use to perform this stuff. So basic answer was pointers. I want to use pointers. It was yes, exactly. How do you implement that? So basically they wanted to allocate contiguous memories, and in that increment pointers to get the exact memory locations between
Yes,
two
yes,
instances.
yes.
That
Consecutive two pointers and just subtracting them.
exactly. I had one or two hints, but yeah, eventually got to the answer.
Yes, they are very cooperative actually.
Very cooperative.
They
That is
keep
what.
giving us the hint.
Yes, that is what we liked a lot. Like it was a more of a
Yes, yes,
discussion,
yes.
So these are the two things that get me most nostalgic. The first of all, the discussion session that we had with them. It was more than an
Yes.
interview. It was like a discussion with them. And
Yes, yes.
secondly,
How long was your interview actually?
mine was nearly 1 hour, 1 hour or 2 3 minutes, something like that. What about
And
you?
mine was 1 hour 10 minutes. But I
Pretty
can't feel how the time has
exactly.
gone.
we
I
didn't we
don't
didn't
know
feel
actually.
like inside the interview room. We didn't feel with because of the discussion outside about the campus, right? And this
Yes,
also
yes.
like makes me pretty nostalgic. The amazing the campus was, like really.
Yes, yes, yes. And we can show the other pictures we have captured for the
Yeah,
campus to our audience actually.
yeah, sure, go on. And our audience
Yeah,
would
yeah,
love, definitely.
yeah. So this is actually me standing in front of the hostel of the BARC, and you can see the logo.
Yeah, that was the interview
It's an
day, I
honor.
guess. You are in your
Yes, yes, yes.
informals.
Informal.
Exactly.
Actually, and it's an honor to take a photograph
Absolutely,
in front
absolutely,
of that logo,
absolutely,
actually.
absolutely. And then yeah, this photo, I took this photo, from the hostel 8th floor, and this was the view, all
Yeah,
these
beautiful
buildings
view,
and the
actually.
campus. Exactly, and all these buildings and everything is in the BRC campus only. And the next one, yes, you took this photo and from the ground, and this is from the
The
road
mountain, right?
basically. Exactly, the mountain,
Yes.
some probably it was named Nilgiri or something. I saw a board out there, and
Yes,
amazing.
yes, yes.
Yeah, anyway, so getting
So
back.
let's get into the technical session again.
Yeah, one thing, I had a linked list question too in data structure
Yeah,
sections.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I your question regarding linked list reminded me of that. So basically, after C, I had a question on TOC, and then they came back in data structure where they asked me
Okay.
the question. We'll get to the TOC part later. Okay. So
Okay, okay, no problem.
in data structure, they asked me first. We want to store a complex number in stack. How do you want to do this?
Mhm.
First of all, I was thinking, why do you want to store a complex number in stack? But anyways, yeah. So first of all, yeah, I thought that okay, fine, I will first declare a structure. with two integers, integer real and the imaginary, the both of the parts of complex number.
Hmm.
And I thought that I as exam I like as they told previously, I was as they just asked the question, I was going to the board and writing code. And then they
Hmm.
for the first time they told me, no, you can write the code later, first talk to us. Okay, so the first
Okay.
time they
The
told me, no,
reversed.
don't. Exactly, for the first time they told me, do not write the code. Okay, so
Hmm.
and they asked me, what you were basically thinking. So I told them, yeah, I want to declare a structure with these two integers, and I want to implement using a linked list. So they asked me,
Hmm.
why do you want a linked list? I told them, of course, it saves the memory, and we don't need to bother about dynamic allocation and all. We can just use a
Yes.
linked list
Yes.
about that.
Not
So
static actually for array.
exactly.
Means
So
in English.
they
Yes.
told me, okay, fine, go ahead and write the basic implementation of the structure and then push pop. So
Hmm.
yeah, I wrote the structure, and then they first asked me that, why do you want to write first? They, they sometimes teach you and test you mentally. So I was writing structure, int real, int imaginary, and the first comment that comes behind me, like, why are you so fascinated with integers? I was really sort of fascinated with integers. No, I'm not. So they asked me, no, you are just writing every function with integer and all, because real and imaginary parts can be floats also. And
Yes.
oh
Yes.
yeah, and
Yes.
so they, this can be float also. So I was like, oh no, sir, basically the default type in C is integer. That is why I was doing it. Yes, it can be float also. So, and they asked me the explanation whether imaginary section can be float or not. So I explained using vectors in argan plane. Then I
Okay.
was
Okay. Yeah.
implementing the linked list, and one thing I made a mistake, that was lack of practice actually. I wrote the push function and adding the node at the end of the linked list. So and
Okay.
yeah, so I there is lack of practice. I initialized the
Hmm. Hmm.
pointer, ran a loop till the null pointer comes, and then added the node. And I was
Extra thought
then
you are
going,
giving.
exactly, I was then going to write the pop, and the teacher asked me, okay, so what are you doing here? I was like, okay, I'm writing the push. So you are adding at the end. That was the point I got it, that there is something they are hitting it. So I
Yes. Yes.
just took 2-3 seconds and then replied, oh, sorry, sir, I should do it. I should do the big at the beginning. And they asked me, why do you think so? So I explained order of n and order of one constant time, and they were pretty happy and moved
Yes.
to the next part. So,
Okay.
so what is the
Actually,
next subject?
there
Yeah.
are. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, there is a vector question, right? In that code
Yeah.
also, I have done one silly mistake, and they got that silly mistake also. That there is a syntax error in your code, so I have to again just check it up and correct it. So,
Yeah,
what
I
about
did
your
that
next?
in the linked list
Yeah.
also. I didn't really notice that I declared a structure, not a structure pointer, declared a
Okay.
structure and
Ah.
used structure to embed like pointer notation. So they
Oh.
got that. I know what are you doing? Okay, sorry, I got that. So they really can recognize every point of silly mistake. But that is good.
Yes. Yes.
They
Yes.
just I just realized that they really are not looking forward to get a candidate who knows everything. They are looking forward to
Yeah.
a candidate who can learn or from their mistakes or eventually rectify them. That is what they are
Yes.
looking for. So they were
Who
giving
can
hints and we
catch
are
their
getting
hints also?
exactly. That
If
is what,
you
like,
don't know the answer, how you are catching their hints and approaching towards answer, that is the most
exactly,
important thing in the
because
interview.
that implies that you are not someone who mugged up all the concepts. You
Yes,
understood them.
yes,
That is
yes.
why they are giving hints and you are catching the underlying
Hmm.
ideas.
You may not remember all these things in the interview, but you
Exactly.
have the right approach.
Yes, you understand the things. That is what they are looking for. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, what is the next subject that they asked you?
The algorithm from their basic questions like what is divide and conquer and what is better between the merge and quick sort, why we prefer the merge sort, and the sorting, what are the sorting algos there that are present, what are the time complexity and space complexity. If we use the binary search algo in linked list, what are the demerits of that? These are the basic questions from the algorithm. So, what about your next subject
Well,
they have asked for?
they asked me in theory of computation. They
Okay.
asked that yeah, that is the one subject you didn't choose. So
Yes.
they asked me to write a language. Basically, they sir wrote on paper a particular C code, if else code, the conditional code,
Hmm.
and he asked me whether I can design a context free grammar for that. So yeah, I first of all he gave me some assignment statement like x equal to this, probably some swapping statements, and they asked me whether I can design the context free grammar. I designed that, and then they yeah, gave me a if else statement. So I designed the context free grammar for that also. So that was it. They didn't ask me for the questions for theory of computation.
Hmm. Okay.
So and then they at last, then after theory of computation, as I told, they went for data structures, and after data structures went to all I'm sorry, what operating systems, right? So in
Yeah,
operating
yeah, yeah.
system, they asked me about um, first they asked me what are the different topics that you have learned in operating system. So I told them about
They have asked that same question to me too in the operating
yeah,
system.
yeah. Okay, okay. So I answered like scheduling, synchronization, and virtual memory. I couldn't even complete. The ma'am started. Okay, so what do you know about virtual memory? So that was it,
Yeah.
and I explained, yeah, about logical addressing and physical addressing and all. Then I was a bit little stuck up right there with the definition part. So the teachers recognized that, and they asked me, "Oh, forget about the definition. Go to board and explain to us using a diagram." So that was pretty much easy for me. Like
Easy
I
for you.
exactly. Because
And
we guys, we understand the concept rather than the
yeah, yeah.
formal definitions, and also I explained using a diagram. That was, I guess, pretty simple, and they were pretty happy, as I presume. And what about you? Operating system.
Actually, at first they asked me what are the things in OS I have studied and what are the favorite topics of OS.
Mhm.
So I have said that process concepts, scheduling, synchronization, and virtual memory. But then ma'am told me what are the means main difference between the program and process. So I
Program and
knew the
process. Okay.
concepts, yes,
Mm.
all these concepts, and tried to explain everything. But in one point, I stuck, and from that point, they are trying to ask me more and more questions. Actually, what is the main distinguishable feature between the program and processes? Where the process
So
resides, that is the
basically, they
main
were
memory. I got.
hitting. They saw a slight gap in concept and hitting it, right, like that. And
Yes,
they were
yes,
doing the
yes.
same thing for me also. Like if I just slightly stuck on a point, they will just hit that point again and again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And after that, they have told me to the process state diagram, to draw the process
Okay.
state diagram, and I have
Okay.
explained that
Mm.
diagram very well.
Mm.
And then they asked me that scheduler means short-term scheduler and long-term scheduler.
Okay.
So what are they, and do they need the running state for the execution? Means there are operating system processes, but if they
Okay.
need the running state for the execution, when they are in running state, and how they are actually executing. So in this point, I stuck a little bit, and after that they just got moved on another point, and they asked me how the round robin works, and when the round robin timer is getting zero, means
Okay.
who is the how the program is the dispatcher and the context switch is it is happening, means who is
Mm.
telling that your time is over. So I
Okay.
told them the timer is there, and when it is zero, the interrupt comes. Then it always knows that its
There
time
has
is
to be
over,
a
and
context
the
switch.
context switch, yes,
Mm.
yes, context switch happens, and this is the process.
Mm.
And after that, they asked me whether timer is hardware or software, and it is a hardware device, and
Mm.
what is context switch, and what are the contexts are saved during the context switch. So
They
these are
asked
the
a
always
similar
questions they have.
question to me. Like
Okay,
they asked me
what?
about process in that with about page tables first of all. That
Yeah, yeah.
during the
You
explanation,
have
I
told virtual memory, na?
yeah. So I
That's
talked
why.
about page tables, and then they asked me whether page table is relative to every process or it is just unique, and those questions. And then asked me whether see whether when a process is being context switched in round robin, so where
Hmm.
is the context lying? Then it is in the physical memory or logical memory. These things. And I was saying like it
Okay.
is in the ready state, and being ready state still in the physical memory and all. So and
Yeah, yeah.
one of the teacher asked me that what if it is suspended, what if it is suspended? So that is a different case. So I was telling every concept like in which state it should belong and where the context is lying right then. So those many
Hmm.
questions they were asking. So yeah, they
Okay,
ask very
okay.
conceptual deep questions, and not really very troubling and question. They ask simple questions yet conceptual ones, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was a great experience indeed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
actually. Teach.
exactly.
And
So
your
yeah.
subjects are over, or there are some more subjects you have?
No. My subjects are over. Yeah, they didn't ask me about algorithms. Forget about DBMS and COA. They didn't even ask
Oh,
me about
okay.
algorithms at all. So these four are the types, and we didn't really recognize when the time passed. Like, it was so interesting and so
Yeah.
exciting to discuss with them. I never really realized when the time passed for an hour.
Yes, yes. Actually, they asked me a few questions from DBMS.
Okay, yeah,
So just basic questions. What is the super key? And what is the difference between the schema relation and the table? What is the difference between the super key and candidate key? What is super key and what are the concepts relying to it? And the difference between the primary key and alternative key, whether we can have more than one primary key in an schema or not. And I have to draw table and explain all these things they have to. And some more questions from B and B plus tree. Actually, they have asked. And nothing
okay.
more. Then they have
More or less, these are
asked
from
me.
our gate concepts only. So I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Actually, after that, they asked me, "Your yes, it is over," and asked me how was the interview experience of mine, means how I have performed according to my opinion, and what are things I can do after that, what I am planning, and then they thanked me, and it's
They
over.
asked one
It was
strange
an
question to
amazing
me in the very
experience.
beginning. They asked one strange, very
But
strange question to me that how did you prepare for this interview? I was pretty much, shocked, and I honestly said that, yeah, preparing for. I've studied from a tier 3 college, and then thereafter I prepared for GATE. So there is not really say, point of saying that I have very vast experience of practical applications. So I said it honestly that how much I
yeah.
know about practicals and theories, and that's it. But the question was pretty strange for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it for the interview, right?
Yes.
And
Actually, it is.
I still have a few more photos to show to our audience of the campus.
Yeah.
Well,
Show
yeah,
them. Actually, it was a very beautiful campus, and we must show the all these photos we have captured on that
yeah,
days.
exactly. Yeah, so yeah, this is a photo of, in the left you can see the building of national. I mean, the new boys hostel or bachelor's hostel, whatever the name was, NBHS it was named. The interview candidate stayed there, and the view from the hostel rooms were pretty amazing. uh, and then this photo comes. I took this photo on the last morning, and it was raining and
Yes. Can you see
clouds
the
all over.
clouds? Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And then, in front we can see the building. That is the building we entered to for the interview, right? You remember, I guess. That is the exact
Yes.
building.
Yes.
And the next, you took this
So
photo,
yeah, these are
and a
the
clear sky, pretty amazing view, and that is one of the main road entrance of BRC campus, as you can see. And
yeah.
yeah, and the next photo it comes, and it is also behind that. Then I guess the Nilgiri it is. And as you can see, like trees, lush greenery everywhere, and the environment, it feels like being in the lap of nature, and the cool and calm weather. Apart from the hustling city Bombay, it is quite calm
Yes.
there.
It is
And
very
then
calm actually.
exactly, and the environment, everything so peaceful, right? And very, and
Yeah.
kind of, I felt that the
No
temperature is
noise
all.
actually in the campus.
No noise, and it's
No
so
noise of
peaceful.
no sounds
I
of
felt
the
even in the
cars.
nights, exactly. I felt like it is so peaceful to think, to develop, to innovate, to ideate everything. It is so peaceful, and the
Yes.
temperature is
Yes.
also a bit on the colder side. Amazing, amazing.
Yeah. That is because of the trees.
Exactly. So I guess,
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah. So conclude that.
okay. So that's it for today, I guess, and wish you all good luck for your days. I hope you all, every one of you, get the chance to visit the campus and get to be a part of the interview. So that's it for today. Thank you.
And yeah, please like the video and share it as much as possible. And please, if you are a new member of our channel, please subscribe to our channel.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.